Well, excited to start off our season again. Obviously, we ended the season last year with a bang, and I think since that moment against Syracuse, when that match came to an end, all the guys that are returners were already itching to get back into it. So, really excited for our group to get back at it on Thursday against Stanford.
Open the floor to questions.
Obviously, a lot of craziness happening, just weather-wise, right now on the West Coast. How do you kind of just balance that as a coach with game planning and everything, and just kind of with all that's going on?
Yeah, no, obviously we hope that everybody's okay, and there's not going to be any delays or anything like that in regards to our travel. And once we get on land, hopefully everything is up to planned. And so, we're having crazy weather here as well. And our last preseason match against Missouri State was a little different in that we took 4 water breaks throughout that 90-minute match. And so, I think all these types of things can help prepare and make you stronger if you're able to just kind of stay focused, stay in line, and still take care of business.
Johnny, you spoke about preparation. How do you feel your team is sitting going into what is a very challenging match against Stanford?
Preparation is as good as it can be when you have a week and a half preseason. But I think fortunately for us, we did have a lot of returners, a lot of guys that understand what we're trying to do. But like you mentioned, it is going to be a very difficult place to play at, in that Stanford is a renowned program, a storied program. Jeremy Gunn is a very good coach, so there'll be a well-coached team with a lot of energy, a lot of intensity, and so we got to be prepared to be able to weather the storm a little bit and stay cool under pressure.
With the veteran group you brought back a lot of veterans, I guess I should say, how do you build that up when they played so late in the last year, they played summer ball. The fall doesn't give you a lot of time to dial it up, but you also have guys that kind of understand already what they're supposed to be doing out there. How do you manage, getting them up to speed for the season, given how much soccer they've already played?
Yeah, I think what helps is just spending time as a team, being together. So even though we weren't able to officially start until August 8th, this group was committed enough to coming back early on their own dime, July 25th. Mm-hmm. So just being able to even spend that time together, whether it was paintball, top golf, whatever it was that they were doing as team activities, I think that helps, right? To be able to have everybody on the same page. And it's going to be a tough environment to be able to play at Stanford. And so you're going to need to be comfortable with one another when you're trying to weather the storm, when these guys are putting complete pressure on you.
How would you grade your cohesiveness? 3 friendlies and all the time they've kind of played together already. How would you grade it at this point? Is it 2 where you and the staff wanted, or do you still have some strides to make in terms of how connected you are on the field? Yeah,
no, I still think there's a lot of room for improvement. But having said that, I thought that the guys performed well in these 3 matches. But hey, we're about to open up our season, so I'd hope that there's still a lot of room for improvement, being that we haven't played a regular season match yet.
Did the guys respond the way you wanted to after the Drake game going to Missouri State?
I thought so. I thought it was a good response. There was a lot of things that we did against Drake that were uncharacteristic to some of the things that we're looking to do on the field. And I thought that it was a good response to go out against Missouri State, a very good side, and be able to come out victorious.
Last year you kind of hit your stride towards the end, which ended up being good. But what did you learn about last year, and then maybe trying to improve earlier on in the season?
No, absolutely. Good. We talked about this earlier, in that we started off really well, and then there was a little bit of a patch in the middle. But in that patch, though, there were games that we were still in control of. We just weren't going across that finish line and getting the result. And so I think there was a lot that we learned about being able to focus the entire game and being able to put teams away.
Johnny, Johnny, how do you feel that your team, how they stack up against Stanford, and how do you kind of look at it as this opportunity without paying too much attention to rankings, but just the fact that you guys are so close in those rankings and that it's going to be just probably a really exciting, soccer game?
Yeah, I said it before, Stanford is a storied program and a very successful program, very well coached. And so for me, it's a great opportunity to be able to come out and have a measuring stick, if you will, against one of the best in the country, to be able to go out there and fight and compete and do well on opening weekend, which can get you started off on the right foot.
I know you said it's been a short preseason, but in that short amount of time, who do you see really stepping up, trying to maybe fill those shoes that McGuire left to fill?
Yeah, obviously Duncan had an unbelievable season, and he did very well, and we're all very proud of him. I think where we got him a lot of success was the identity that the team had, and that identity hasn't changed, the way that we want to play, the style of play. And we have guys that can come in and do the same thing Duncan was doing, and so we're just excited to get started again.
I know last year it kind of I don't know, didn't necessarily rub you the wrong way, but it kind of caught you a little bit off guard when people talked about you as an underdog, given Creighton's history. You're smiling now, I can see it. Now that you've brought it back to the College Cup, you have one now in this decade, and you're starting the season in the top 10. Is it harder to climb that hill or stay on it, do you think?
Well, I definitely don't like to be looked at as the underdog.
Yeah.
Although once you are a program that is notable, then you have to make sure that you can handle the responsibility of keeping your standards high. Mm-hmm. So more so we're going to focus on making sure that the guys understand that our standards have to stay high, to make sure that we're not seen as the underdog, which I guess at the end of the day, it's neither here nor there.
Right.
But we are a program that's been around for a while that I think has done some big things. And so, I don't like being looked at as an underdog.